Hey everyone, welcome to week 4 of the Here It Is mini sessions. So these past few weeks I've been talking to you about emotional abuse, adoption, unhealthy coping mechanisms, and this week I'm excited to finally talk about something a little bit more positive. I originally started these sessions for people who had bought the book that I wrote, which was Poems of My Life, where I'm just talking about different things that I went through. And these sessions were a way for me to kind of talk to the reader and say, hey, this poem, this is kind of what I meant by it. And if you don't own my book, that's fine. But the whole purpose of it all was for healing and starting the process and all that stuff. And so that's what I'm finally here to talk about today. And so I'm excited about that. My goal every time I try to do this is to sit here and make this short, sweet, informative. I always say educational, but I don't really think it's educational. Informative is more what I mean. And it never seems to work out that way. So I'm going to try really, really hard to do that this time. It always takes me forever to make these. And I made a cup of coffee when I started. And this is a heat activated cup. And so it's supposed to be baby blue when your coffee is piping hot. And it is fully black now. So yeah, that's just letting me know that my coffee is probably ice cold now. But that's okay. But anyways, so healing. All right, yay, woo. For me, my healing journey, it kind of started in a bunch of different ways. I've been doing some form of healing for the past 10 years now. And before that scares you and you're like, oh heck no, I don't have 10 years to waste to get healed. Let me explain. I started my journey without knowing I was starting my journey. So 10 years ago, I gave birth to my first child. And I knew then that everything I had gone through with my mom, I didn't want to repeat it. And for me, my mom was always having these terrorizing, screaming episodes that at the time I thought she was just being mean and she was a yeller. And I knew I didn't like the way I felt. So my reaction after becoming a mother myself was going to Google and typing, what does yelling do to a child? How can I be more patient? How do I not yell when my child doesn't listen? And through these searches, I came across emotional abuse, and I started understanding that what I had gone through with my mom was in fact that. It wasn't just a mean mom who yelled sometimes. It was a mother who was intentionally emotionally abusing me every single day, and a mother who I don't even think knew she was doing that herself. And knowing that was kind of what helped me want to continue to learn about things that I had gone through and what it meant. Adoption, I didn't find too much on, just kind of the general, like, you feel this or you feel that, which I kind of already had an idea of. But as the years went by, I kind of became like a self-help book junkie. And if it was about changing your life and whatever, I was gonna buy it. And I think I so desperately wanted a book that I could start and finish and put it down on the table and be like, wow, I'm magically healed. All my trauma is gone. Now I'm a happy, peppy person and life will be great. But I mean, unfortunately, you have to do some work. And so that's kind of where this all comes in. So one of the first things that I got from some of these self-help books that I started doing was taking some time in the morning, usually, to write 2 to 5 things that I was grateful for. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but for me, when I do it, I do notice that just being in a state of gratitude, it's hard to be angry when you're feeling grateful, you know? And starting your day in that state, it was just really beneficial and game-changing for me. I tend to be kind of scatterbrained and I have no self-discipline. So sometimes I wake up late and I'm rushing, and just trying to find that time to stop and just like be thankful that I woke up, or be thankful that coffee exists, or be thankful that I didn't have to snooze, or, you know, whatever it was. It really just made my days better. And along with that is perspective. So a lot of times when something bad would happen, whether somebody cut me off on the road or somebody accidentally bumped into me with their cart, it was really easy for me to associate these little incidents with my entire life story. Oh, of course she would bump into my cart. I'm adopted and my mom yelled at me my whole life, and it emotionally scarred me, and I was almost alcoholic because of it. And just kind of learning that sometimes things just happen and it's not because I'm me that it happened, and changing my perspective. It was a huge thing. It's a hard thing that I still struggle with, but just learning that I have the ability to change my mind in that moment, how I'm going to perceive this current whatever, is helpful. Along with that, and this is going to probably be kind of weird, but I said how my mom was a yeller and emotional abuse, blah, blah, blah. So when I was younger, my sister bought me a Linkin Park CD for Christmas. And when I started going kind of down this genre of music, the artists that I was listening to, they were screamers. And some people would be like, I don't understand how you can listen to this when you say you hate that your mom yells at you. And I think in a way it was kind of helpful for me, or in a way it was me reclaiming my power. So I was taking this negative trauma-based experience and I was turning it into a positive by replacing this yelling with like positive yelling. And music is just one of those things that has always been there and is not going anywhere. I feel like, especially with Linkin Park, reading Crawling, in the end, just listening to some of these songs and reading these lyrics, it was like, holy cow, I'm not alone. Other people feel this way too. And that's just the beauty of it. And even though I tend to like more rock-based music, I'm not a one genre fits me type of person. Sometimes I could be watching a movie and there's a scene in a movie that just really resonates with me, and there will be a song playing in the background, and I will go research that song and I will listen to it 1,000 times, and it can be the most random genre of music, and I won't even go searching for any more of this person's music. I'm just content with this one song. And I talk about BTS a lot, and they are a South Korean band, and so with their music I had to research a lot the lyrics and get a better understanding of what it was they were saying. And one of the things that they kind of pushed from the beginning of their career, which was 7 years ago up until now, is just healing yourself, loving yourself, speaking yourself. And these are messages that you probably hear all the time, and you're like, how could this one band sing it in a way that just makes it different for you? But the fans of BTS are called BTS Army, and oh my gosh, this is like a community of people that just get it. Like, they are on the same path as you. We are all broken and we're all trying to heal, and we're all trying to learn to love ourselves. And it's almost like this relationship you have with this band, that it's just an amazing thing. And that kind of goes into my next part of healing is you need community. For some people, that's going to church and having their church community. For some people, that's going on retreats and meditating, or, just different things. But you need to be surrounded as you go through this with like-minded individuals who are going to hold you accountable, who are going to motivate you, who are maybe going to tell you what you don't want to hear, but you probably need to hear. And having that bad fruit, whether it be a parent, a boyfriend, friends, a sibling, whomever, having that bad fruit somewhere around you could only be detrimental to your growth. And for me, I had to cut my mom off for periods of at a time sometimes, and we would go like months without talking or texting, and thankfully she gave me that, because I think if she would have still kept trying to make her way in, our relationship wouldn't be what it is. But I've had friends who decided that they didn't want to be my friend anymore. And because of all the toxicity that they brought to our friendship, I chose not to fight for them or to follow them or try to win them back. And I've had friends who have walked out of my life and then have come back, and we're just on the exact same page, and now our friendship is better than ever. And just having that community, that group of people who, for one, love you, and for two, want you to heal or to be better, it's helpful, because if you're trying to lose weight, you're probably gonna want to hang out with your friend who goes to the gym every day, and not your friend who bakes cakes every day and be their taste tester. You know what I mean? And speaking of the same little analogy, one of the things that I have yet to do, but I'm looking to start, is therapy. I'm looking to find a counselor that can now give me the tools that I feel I need to function. And for whatever reason, therapy and counseling has like such a stigma to it. Like, people almost don't want to admit that they're doing it, and I don't get it. Like, if I want to lose weight, I'm going to go to a gym trainer who's going to tell me, hey, you want to lose this? Do these exercises. And then I'm going to go to a dietitian who's going to say, if you want to lose weight for your body goals or whatever, eat this and this and this. So why wouldn't I go to a licensed therapist or a counselor with my trauma, with my addictions, with my coping mechanisms, and say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. Give me the tools I need so I can not do this, or so I can heal from this. Like, it doesn't make sense to be guilty or to be hiding that. I think, if anything, we should be embracing it more, because there's a lot of broken people still out there that are just coping with life in such unhealthy ways. And shoot, I can't remember if I talked about the personality test or not. Give me 1 second. I'm going to come right back. Okay, I'm back. So I didn't. Okay, so yeah, therapy. Another thing that I just recently did was, there's a website called 16personalities.com. I think I'm going to link the actual website below, but it's a quiz and you answer a bunch of questions, how you feel you would answer them. And at the end, it gives you some letters, and those letters mean you are this and this and this. And it gives you a summary that like breaks down your personality. And no, I don't think an internet quiz is going to completely change my life. But being a person who has suffered from depression and anxiety, it was nice to take a quiz, and this quiz say like, hey, you are seeming to be an introverted person. And not only introverted, but you are showing us, based on your answers, that you are an introvert who tends to thrive when they've had some alone time and have taken a few days to recharge. And oh my gosh, I really needed to hear that, because I am the type of I'm literally that. That was to a T. But I always thought I was being antisocial, or I was needing alone time because I was getting depressed or going through a depressive episode. And now, just kind of knowing that that's just who I am as a person, I feel like that's only going to benefit me in the future. Like, if that happens, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm not depressed. I just need some time. And it said a lot of other things. And I think even if you don't care for it, maybe just taking it for fun. But it was a really cool thing to do. And when you kind of have an idea of who you are as a person and who you are because of trauma, I feel like then you can really start the awful process. I say awful because it's hard for me. Forgiving. Forgive who? Yourself. I know. It seems like an easy thing to do, right? But it's really not. I feel like for me, it was almost easier to forgive my abusers and different things, or different people who did me wrong, than it was to sit and forgive myself. And maybe that comes from my own issues of self-hatred or whatever, but I felt a lot of guilt and shame growing up, and it was hard to acknowledge and take responsibility for what I was doing in these situations, and kind of not be the victim, and kind of just, say, hey, guess what? You did this, you did that. You sat with shame when you didn't have to. You sat with guilt and you didn't have to. And it's okay. And go stand in front of a mirror and point to myself and say, you are beautiful. You are worth it. And all that stuff is hard for me. And I think that's another reason why I'm really pushing for therapy, because I need to figure out how to do it in a way that's going to be beneficial and not make me like go deep. My phone died right when I was in the middle of talking, but basically I was saying go back into a hermit crab hole. But also, with that being said, I feel like I I feel like I kind of talked a lot, and I'm just gonna go ahead and stop this here. If I can think of anything that I can add, maybe I'll just add another video to this. But you get, hopefully some of what I said was informative or gave you some ideas. Basically, these are just the things that I've done or I'm currently doing or I try to do. Healing isn't easy. It's hard. It's a journey. And I'm excited that you have all chosen to take this journey with me, and hopefully you're starting your own. I hope that I was somewhat informative. I don't know if I already said that. If I did, I'm sorry. But yeah, have a great night. Be safe. I will see you probably not next week, because I'm trying to finish this current book that I'm writing. And it would be nice to be done before October's over. So I probably won't see you next week. But the following week that I do come back, I have no idea what I'm going to be talking about. I have like 2 ideas, but I haven't really narrowed it down yet to which one. I kind of want to keep this theme going, and I only want it to be positive, so we'll see. But yes, thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you when I come back, and have a great night. I'm probably going to go heat this up, or maybe make a fresh cup, because I think I deserve it. Sounds good. Bye.